Shabbat Shalom. I hope you're doing well. As we begin to read the book of Exodus, the book of our people, the book of the birth of our nation, as we read about the slavery, we read about the redemption and the freedom, we enter into the story of Moses, of the birth and of the survival, of the remarkable survival of Moses. And he survives at a time in which it was very unlikely, in which the laws were that a male Jewish child would not survive. That's what Pharaoh had decreed, that all male children would be murdered, would be killed. And his plan doesn't work, and so he calls the Jewish midwives and he says, "What's happening? You're not doing your jobs. These children are surviving, they're living." And listen to their response to Pharaoh. "Vatomarna hamiyaladot el Paro," that the midwives say to Paro, "Ki lo chanashim hamitzriot ha'ivriot." There's something different about these Jewish mothers. Ki chayot heina b'teren tavo aleim hamiyaledet v'yaladu, because they give birth before the midwives can even reach them. They give birth. And we know in the ancient world in particular how difficult, how precarious, how dangerous the act of giving birth, of childbirth, was, both for the child and certainly for the mother. And yet it seems to be that they were all doing fine. And there are these midrashim that talk about the extraordinary numbers that the children of Israel were being produced at that time. How are they doing okay? Rav David Feinstein had a beautiful insight. And he says, if you look at that word in the Torah, alehen, which means unto them, before the midwives can come unto them, can reach them. And it's written in an unusual way. It's written with 4 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Nun. And usually there's a little Yud in the middle. And why is it written without the Yud? Rav David Feinstein says because the numerical value of this word without the letter Yud, Alehen, is equal to the numerical value of the word Elohim, the word for God. Meaning, what was happening before the midwives were there, before the midwives were able to get there to ensure and to work to achieve a safe and healthy childbirth? Who was taking care of these Jewish mothers who in secret and privacy were rushing, were hurrying to get their babies out to make sure that they survived? Who was protecting them? Elohim. God was there to protect them. That's a hidden message in our parasha based on the numerical value of a word that's written in a very unusual way. There's another beautiful teaching with which I want to share, but I want to share it in memory of Rabbi Dr. Wilfred Shushat. It's Rabbi Shushat's yahrzeit today on a Friday on Erev Shabbat, on the 20th day of the Hebrew month of Tevet. And today marks 4 years since his passing, and we miss him so greatly. We miss him so much. And he loved, his passion was midrash. It's what he devoted the scholarship of his later life to, producing works on midrash. And there's an extraordinary midrash that brings to life a section of our Torah reading. As Moshe, as baby Moses, is floating along the Nile, and Bat Paro, Paro's daughter, sees him. And the verse describes what happens, that she's walking together with her servants, with her maidservants, and she sees Moshe in the middle of the river, Vatishlach et amata vatikacheha, that she casts out, and the Hebrew word is amah, she casts something out, she sends something out, and she's able to take that little ark, she's able to take that little basket that Moses is contained inside of. And the meaning of this word is a debate of the authorities, and Rashi brings a few different options. One being that she sent her servants. It would be natural for the daughter of Pharaoh, for royalty, who's standing there taking a walk on the riverbank and sees something in the middle of the river that she wants, to send one of her servants, "You go in and get it, you jump in, you dive in, you put on the scuba gear and go get baby Moses." But there's another opinion as well. And Rashi says that she sent out her amah, means her arm, her yad. She cast out her hand, and a miracle happened. The miracle was that her hand, nishtarbava amata, amot harbe, that her hand was extended by many meters, that by all natural reasoning, she wasn't able to reach that baby in the middle of the river. But she extended out her hand, and God made a miracle. And the hand was extended even further and further and further until she was able to reach Moshe. And in this miracle, we're taught an extraordinary lesson. That there are aspects of life, there are things in life that we want to achieve, but they appear to be out of our reach. But sometimes all it takes is reaching out that hand. Even if it appears that we won't be able to reach it, sometimes a miracle occurs. One of the great heroes of this whole story, there are many heroes of this story, is Pharaoh's daughter. For not only hearing the cry of the child, not only having compassion on the child, but in this beautiful teaching, in casting out her hand, in reaching out her hand, in that very simple act of making an effort, she was able to achieve something which perhaps by the laws of physics, by the laws of nature, and by the laws of logic, was inachievable. It's a beautiful lesson, and in my mind, I can hear Rabbi Shushat quoting the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, which says, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, that the task is not yours to complete. V'lo atah ben chorim lihibatel mimena, but neither are you free to desist from it. He would say that quite often. And the teaching is that of making the effort, of even if the goal seems out of reach, of even if it seems for a moment that our efforts will be insignificant. But it's that effort that counts. It's that effort that makes the difference. That's the effort. That's the reaching out of Pharaoh's daughter that ultimately leads to the survival of this child and to the redemption of the children of Israel. If Bat Paro, if Pharaoh's daughter, had not reached out to collect that child who was in the middle of the river, we might still be slaves, or the Jewish people might have gone the way of so many other people. Maybe the redemption wouldn't have happened. It's that one simple act of making an effort that led God to create that miracle and allow the child to be saved and allowed our people from that moment forward to flourish and to be redeemed. May his memory and the memory of all of our teachers and sages be for a blessing. The Zecher Nishmat, the memory, and Ilui Nishmat, for the sake of the ascent of the soul of Harav Zev ben Meir Ubraina, and wishing everybody a Shabbat Shalom.